Hey guys, what's up? Shin0555 here, coming at ya with another drawing video. It's Sunday, so we're back at it again. And today's video, we're going to be drawing Buzzer Beak from Skylanders. And this video was requested by Ricky, the Mario Pokemon fan named 3553. Thank you so much for the request. I hope you enjoy it. I know you've been looking forward to this one. So, yeah, but before we start, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That really does help me out. Other than that, guys, let's get our pencils ready, and let's jump in. Alright, guys, so to start off drawing Buzzer Beak here, what we're going to do is draw a nice, decent-sized circle. This is pretty much going to be like where his head's at. And then we're going to get kind of like another circle right underneath it like this. So we're basically going to break them down like two circles here. And then we'll get like a nice circle here and another circle here to kind of like start his legs. Get a nice little oval here for where his feet are going to be. We can get little wings going out here for his wings. And then for his hat that he has up here, it could just be a line. We'll get this line going across like this. But that is pretty good for the gesture that we need. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to zoom in and we'll just get into detail here. So his head's not going to be like directly on the circle. It's going to be a little bit lower, or his face is. So his eyes are going to be right about here. And we can actually just gesture them in with these two kind of decent sized circles like this. And then we'll get like his beak, which is going to be like this kind of cylinder type shape like that. But what we're going to start out doing is his beak, and then we'll kind of draw up from there. So right about here, what we're going to do is draw a nice curve line like this, and then we're going to curve it. When we get to this point here, we're just going to go down kind of around the eye here, and then curve it down. I'm going to stop right about there. I'm going to get this curve started and stop right about there. Because what we're going to do here is at the tip of the beak, we're going to kind of break off into like a little bit of a V here. This side you barely see, but it would come up about like that. And then here what we're going to do is get a nice curve line curving in like this. And it's going to curve over to where this corner is. This is why we got it started. And then what we're going to do is just go down here. And you basically just get kind of like this V shape like that. And now here what we're going to do is follow this shape pretty closely, but when you get to about here, it's going to just curve out just a little bit before getting to the tip there, and then it's going to wrap around like this. So there's going to be like a little bit of like a bump here, like that. And then what we could do is draw in a little circle right here, and then just a little curve line like this for his nostril. And if you want to, I didn't do this in the reference picture, but if you wanted to, you can shade the inside of his mouth in like this. Might make it look a little bit better. So now that we got that down, what we're going to do is jump into his eye here. And I'm going to make his eye a little bit bigger. And I'm keeping this very light. I'm not like committing to hard lines yet for this eye. And then this eye is going to be a little bit bigger right here. And it's just going to go off and kind of do its own thing. Like so. But for his eye, what we're going to do, and I'm going to start using darker lines, is draw a nice curve line like this that goes across the circle. And then we're just going to bump it up, and then we're just going to follow the circle that we made there. And then here we're just going to get another little curve line going up like this, and then curve it down into the beak. And then I'm just going to finish off the circle here, and I will erase kind of the guidelines here just so it's a little bit clearer. And this is why when you do draw guidelines, you draw them very light, so you can kind of just use them to kind of map out the shapes, know where you're like placing stuff, and then when you're ready you can erase and it looks nice. And one little detail you want to do here is just draw a nice little curve line that hugs the eyes like that. And then we're going to get a nice kind of oval for his eye with a little circle right there, and then you could shade this in like so. And then we're pretty much going to do the same thing on this side, where we're just going to get that curve line like this, another little curve line like that. Wrap it around here and here. Connect that in. Then we'll get that oval with the little circle on the corner like this. And then we'll get those curve lines here and here. Like so. And now that we've got that done, and we got his eyes, we can actually draw in his little helmet that he has here. So a good starting point is right here, and you're just going to draw like a little like U shape that is going to go around the eyes, kind of follow them as it goes over to about here, and it's going to curve in like that. And then kind of the same thing over here, where it's not going to go out as far, it's going to go out to about here, and then curve in. And then once you have that, you're going to start a little bit before this ends and just draw a nice dome that'll go around his head there like that. Also, what you can do is start here and just kind of hug this line like so. And now we're actually going to jump into his helmet here as the next thing. So it's a little bit off. The line's going to be about here, and we're going to draw our way kind of up. So what you want to do here is draw a line going up, over, and then down. And I'm going to gesture this in, but you're going to get kind of like a cylinder. Like that. And then what you're going to do is get little curve lines going around it. Like so. And then what you want to do is just kind of darken these in. So you're just going to draw these little bumps that follow the cylinder lines that you have here. It's going to go up to there. And then when you get about there, what we're going to do is draw kind of like a big cylinder shape like this. And then kind of like another one going off of it. Like so. And then this is going to go into a spike up there like that. And then we could draw in the propellers. So basically it's going to start right here. It's going to overlap this a little bit. But you're going to do a nice long curve line like so. And going to go into a point, and then it's going to go across like this. Then we're going to get a straight line right about here, and then this line is going to curve right into the tip there, like that. And you can erase any overlap that you have. And just keep in the lines that you need. And then you could darken in this, because the next propeller is going to be behind this kind of like pointed part. And it's the exact same thing. This one points up though, so it's going to curve up. So I'll show it right here. Start about here and just draw a curve line that curves slightly up. Then it's going to curve into there like that. Then it's going to start here and just curve up into that point there, like so. So there you have his propeller. I guess that's what it is. Well, it is a propeller, so I guess that's how he flies. So now that we've got that done, we can gesture in his body shape now. And again, I'm going to keep this light, but it's basically going to just be this kind of curve line. And it's going to go around these two ovals. So it's going to bump up right about here, kind of go down, and then kind of into like where the eye is. There like that. And keep it light because it's a gesture. But now I'm going to zoom in and we're going to get his wing. So his wing's pretty much going to be like this. So what we're going to do is just start off here and just draw a curve line that curves up like this. And it's going to go into a spike here. And then right about here, we're going to just draw another spike that's going to curve over, down, and then just kind of curve in like this. And then right here, we're going to get a spike. And it's just going to curve in like that. And again, you can erase any overlap. This is why I said keep it light. And then we'll get the other one here real quick. And this one's a little bit easier. You just draw a line going out and goes into two spikes here and then curves in like that. And then you see a little bit of the third spike right there. And now that we got that done, we can draw in his feet. So pretty much what we're going to do is just darken in this line here, darken in this line to about here, and I'm going to just darken in that line. And I'm going to erase this in between. I'm going to erase in between right here. and then just darken this in. So you want like a little bit of a gap between here and here, and then in between that gap we're going to start here and just draw a nice kind of curve line like this that kind of rounds off the edge of the feet there. And then before we jump in, let's just finish off his body, and we can finish it off by starting around here, and you're basically going to just draw these kind of jagged lines like that, because like this would be this would be a different color than like this part. But since we're not coloring it in, we'll just show it with the line. And now we will get his feet. So basically what you can do, and I'm going to draw this light, is just draw kind of like a cylinder like this. And then you can draw kind of like an oval here, and then 3 circles like this. So you should get a shape that looks like this, and we're just going to kind of connect them here. So we're going to go here, kind of wrap around this circle that we have. This is going to go into its own circle. Wrap around, kind of bump out again. This one's going to kind of curve in like this. This one will be its own circle, kind of curving in like so. And then here what we're going to do is just darken in this line, very similar to what we did here. Darken in this line, get a little curve line here like this, but we will erase there and there. And then for the talons or claws or whatever they are, what you're going to do is draw a nice little curve line like this right here, and it just goes into like a spike. So a little curve line into a spike, and then one more like that, and then you see a little bit of it on the back there. And again, you can erase any overlap that you got going on. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing with this foot too. So we're just going to get that cylinder shape there like that. This one's going to be a little bit more on the side, so it's going to go like this way. So we're going to see a little bit of this foot, a little bit of this one, and then this one's going to be like real behind. But pretty much the same thing. Just extend this one out like so. Another one, and then another one like that. And then we'll get that little claw on the back here, and then same claws like that, and then a little curve line right there, and you can erase this and that. And that is pretty much how you draw Buzzer Beak from Skylanders. Not a hard one. He's kind of like a weird looking fella, but I don't think this one is all too hard to draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sketch that I just did, put it up there, along with the inked version I did beforehand, so you can get a good look at both. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you guys have any requests, feel free to leave that in the comment section below, and then tune in on Sunday when I do a drawing video, and hopefully your request pops up. But thank you again, Ricky, the Pokemon fan named 3553, for the request. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy Buzzer Beak here. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.